as Christians, how should we approach God? I think sometimes that we Christians are so confident that God is going to accept us no matter how we approach him, no matter what attitude we have going on, because we're sinners saved by grace. He's saved us not because of our works, but because of his goodness and his faithfulness. That sometimes, because in a way, our faith has not cost us much and God accepts us in any condition, we are sometimes not attentive to how we actually approach God. How do we go into his presence? Just because he accepts us in any condition, does that mean that we should be in any condition? Now, what I am not saying, and I want to say this first, what I am not saying is that we need to get right before we go to God. What I am saying is there are tendencies and habits and ways that we go about pursuing our faith and our relationship with God that might not actually be to our benefit and to the benefit of our relationship with God, to the growth of our spiritual maturity. But Psalm 95 verse 2 gives us some incredible insight into how we should approach God. This is what it says. Let us come into his presence with thanksgiving. Let us make a joyful noise to him with songs of praise. One of the things that this passage teaches us is to go into the presence of God with thanksgiving. Now, this does not mean that God won't accept us and won't welcome us if we aren't thankful in a moment that we come to him. That's not what this passage is saying at all. Instead, it's giving us direction on how to get the most out of our relationship with God, how to honor God the most with our approaching of him, with our prayer life, with our faith. And so one of the things that's really important for us as Christians, not so that we can keep our salvation, but so that we can grow in our faith, in our relationship, is to actively choose to approach God with a thankful heart. Do you approach God with thanksgiving on a regular basis? I think that so many of us, myself very much included, often approach God like an immature child, someone who's coming to the relationship. We go to our parent that we know will love us no matter what, and it's all about me, me, me. What can I get for this? But it's never a place of gratitude, or it's rarely a place of gratitude. And if we are going to mature in our faith, then it's not just going to be this baby parent relationship, but we're actually going to become growing adults in the relationship, and we're going to approach grateful and thankful for all that God has done and is doing in our lives. So take some time today. Approach God with thanksgiving. Approach God and share with him the things that you are thankful that he has done for you. I think about any good marriage relationship. Our spouse, my wife, in my case, loves me no matter what attitude I approach her with. But an attitude of love and thanksgiving and care and protection is going to influence our relationship differently than if I come angry and frustrated and feeling like a victim in my life or in our relationship. And so just because someone, in this case God, accepts you in any attitude doesn't mean that it's the best attitude for you to approach him with. So always go to him no matter what's going on in your life, no matter what attitude you have. And actively choose to thank God and come to him with an attitude of thanksgiving. An added benefit of this is that when we realize all that God has done for us, then the things that he hasn't done or the things that we're asking him to overcome in our lives don't look so big. Because we know that he has already cared for, he has already protected us, he has already loved us beyond what we could do for ourselves. And so gratitude also helps us with faith for the future. So how are you approaching God? In faith with thanksgiving. God bless.